Yes, I born in Guatemala in the 29th of March 1953.
And can you describe maybe the place, the main city, the capital, for somebody that has not visited Guatemala? Latin Americans don't know so much about Guatemala in general, in terms of landscape, natural resources, and ethnicities.
Well, I think in three parts, very, very quickly. And the number one is, well, Guatemala is a beautiful country. It's a natural resource is fantastic. We have in the different areas, for example, in the south, north, and the west, a change in the weather. And the production is in banana, coffee, cotton. Now is oil, palm, African palm. It's a new plantation in the different areas in the Pacific, in the coast. In this situation, Guatemala is fantastic, and the color is very green. In my time, very relaxing, no problem, very security. But now it's very, very complicated to the people. They don't know what happened in the violence in the street, what happened in the gangsters in the city. All tourist areas, for example, Antigua, Guatemala, or Atitlan, very nice lake there, is very, very, very dangerous to the people. And the tourist agencies organize tour to the tourists traveling together for take security. Well, number three is 40 years ago. And this time Guatemala have 7 million people. Now it's very nearly 18 million people. In general terms, Guatemala, same Central America, because in the same area, El Salvador or Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica too, in this area, the 5 countries, is in the same weather and the same production. Of course, in some activities in the population change a little bit, but the all popular market is in the same. Because selling handicraft, vegetables, fruit. This area living in the poverty people for selling everything for survival.
Yeah. And do you remember as a young person, kid, your family, the people around you talk about Guatemala as a Mayan country, half Mayan?
Yeah, it's very interesting this question because Guatemala take one division, and the west and the south living, and the population is mestiza, and the north and the occident and the people is Maya. Yeah, it is in the confrontation any time to the indigenous people and the mestizaje, because in these areas close Mexico, around in the department Huehuetenango, Quetzaltenango, Quiché, Petén, Alta Verapaz, is 100% Maya. Yeah. Different ethnics, Ixchil, Quiché, Cachiquel, Sutuil, Mam, Pocomam. It's 22 language speaking there. But after going to the way to the El Salvador, from El Salvador in the south, living in the los campesinos on the Pasian, descendant of mestizos. It changed a little bit in the physical face, the eye color, and the hair color, and the size is but different to the authentic Maya. Of course, and the Mayan people, they don't lost to the dressing, the color. Yeah. It's identification. When you go in there, look in the street or marketing or some villages, it's authentic Maya because they don't like lost to the culture, everything when they enjoy to the activities, to the community.
Yeah. Well, you live in in an urban city environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine, especially in that place, urban city, you saw US, United States, North American influence, and you perfectly know that the US not only intervened with the 1954 coup, but with the fruit companies. I was wondering if you have memories of people, for example, liking more American culture, if you saw Americans in the street, if you saw soldiers in the street.
Yeah, well, I born in 53 when the coup from US against Jacobo and Guzman started the influence and the intervention of the US in the national life to Guatemalan people. Washington introduced to the, affairs to Guatemalan government. Guatemala is today still is intervention with U.S. because all economic, the bank system and the factories, international company, multinational company, any companies, now Guatemala is one central point to the capital is from U.S. But what happened this time in the 1954? U.S. went to Guatemala because Guatemala is very rich, natural resource. It's oil, zinc, nickel, gold, silver. It's very rich. But in this time, and the influence was to the director of a United Fruit Company. He said, well, in this government, Jacobo and Guzman, he have a contact with Russia. Guatemala converts to the communism system. In this moment, USA, well, no, never we permit this intervention because Guatemala is for us is Guatemala represent to the Washington all interesting economic, political, and military.